Good day and welcome back to Elementary 72 Gaming. So for today's video, I'm actually going to be taking you through my favorite farming route. Now, my favorite farming routes are actually through Brightwood. It's one of my favorite areas to farm, but this isn't actually the Ironwood farm. This is a different farm altogether. This is one of the most valuable farms if you have timed it right and if you get lucky for this particular farm route. So from here, I'm actually going to head to Grant's Palace. Now, Grant's Palace is a dangerous area to fight. Even at level 60, there's a very strong chance you're going to lose. Now, instead of fighting Grant, I actually cross this river over here. I head on to the edge of this cliff and I jump all the way into Eden Grove. After that, I run up to this point here and then I head into the mines. Now, as you can see, there's multiple points over here. This one here has two rocks inside it, then there's two right here at the entrance. There's several along the route down the mountain till you reach this point here. So you're going to catch one right here at the top. You're going to catch another right below it. Then you head all the way down. You enter into this cavern for one node. On this side near this cave, there's another node right here hidden along the edge. So you pick that up and that is all the orichalcum you're going to get. After that, I will head through this direction up into this section over here towards this grasping summit, and I will jump down towards the teleporter. From the teleporter, I'll actually collect all the ironwood in this region, heading up to Trilla Beacon. Then I'll jump down into this region, pull out all the ironwood, and head back down. Now, this is something which you can do. You can head back down and run through Weaver's Ven, or immediately once you're done with the ironwood, you can teleport to another location. For example, I can jump to Morningdale and complete the second orichalcum farm that I know, which is up here at the top. As you can see, I have a mission up at the location. Complete that, come down, head towards this mission and complete High Pass Hidey Hole. Then go all the way down, jump here and get out of the region. Or you can go through this, come up all the way, jump to this location and collect the rest of the orichalcum on this side. As I said, there's a lot that can be done. It's purely up to the individual on how they take this route. Now, I'm actually going to go on this route, so let's hope that it isn't as boring as explaining it from that perspective. Now, understand that this video is going to be absolutely boring. There's not going to be much of fighting content. There's not going to be that much of entertainment involved. It's just a quick route for you to see how fruitful this can be for you. Now, these locations are very, very contested. I'm not even going to deny that. I do kill bears along the route. The whole idea is I'm killing them for expertise right now, and that's for weapon expertise. If you haven't noticed, in an earlier video I did show that I was trying to complete the gun. That's 2,200. I have 187 bullets, one bullet into the bear and my spear to finish it off. That's as simple as it gets. There are 3 bears in this close proximity, so this isn't going to take me too long. And there I go, 43 to the musket, and I didn't even use a shot. And let's get this bear, and then there's another one on the other end. There are some resources up on this mountain on the edge if you really want to go for it. I believe it's 1 or 2 veins of star metal, possibly 1 or 2 veins of lodestone, but this is just the overall farm route. It's a good route to use for people who are leveling weapons. This one is far out, so I'm not even going to bother chasing him. And now to the top of the mountain. This is quite an easy route to use. You'll see why in a second. This is where you get to all the resources that are on the mountain. This is the easiest point. So yeah, I'll just show you these. I'm not really 100% on which one it was up here. Oh yeah, this is the star metal area. Didn't need to do that. As you can see, my weapon does have a lot of bonus damage. That's just the way that it is. There's no special expertise beyond level 20 in case anybody wants to try and figure that out. That is just disappointing. There's a strong chance that I'm heading into a farmed location, so I might get a lot of disappointment heading this way. There's another star metal vein up front. There's another bear up front as well. So all I've got to do is just prep for him. I can hit him with a grenade and just finish him off quickly with the spear. That'll be so much easier for me. So many people don't realize that this route is that easy to use. And as you can see, there's Weirdwood. Now, Weirdwood isn't the most expensive on my server, but I know that on some servers it's as expensive as star metal. At one stage it was more expensive than ironwood. That's because ironwood is slightly more abundant than Weirdwood in general. It's just that there's so many locations to farm Weirdwood that are bot friendly that they just camped out completely. As you can see, this is totally farmed. And you can see the star metal spawn at the top there. I'm not even going to bother too much with that. You know what, let me just grab it anyway. Star metal isn't the most expensive resource, but it is a valuable resource. The reason why a lot of people don't farm it is it requires too many complex movements, and with the lag spikes like what I was showing, it pushes bots off track very quickly. And I've seen many bots going haywire in the past few days where they can't get their patterns because people have been cutting the trees down before they could get to it. It's just the way that it is because of the amount of poor features in the game. Oh man, I hit the wrong button again. Because of the amount of poor features, these types of things are going to happen on a continuous basis. Where is the... Oh, I turned in the wrong direction myself. That's Grand's palace on this side. Let me just double check that I'm in the right location. No, I'm not. What in the world is going on? I'm just gonna put a mark. I actually got lost in here for the first time. Normally I can just run through effortlessly. I use markers all the time. They just help me know whether I'm going right or left in terms of direction. It's one of the ways you can say it. You can say it as it helps you know the bearing that you're using to move around, because technically speaking this is all about bearing. As you can see, I veered off course a little bit and it made a big difference to where I ended up. One mistake can lead to 2 mistakes, can lead to 3 mistakes, and that can cost me the ability to grab any good resources. The life is still here. I'm not about to run to the other side. There's just 2 weirdwood trees. It's a bit out of the path. What I'm after is far more valuable, to be honest. If you can make orichalcium and you can make osmodium, and if it's outside of your limits for what you need, you'll be richer than just about anybody on the server. That's if you can get it cheap, if you can get it affordable. Well done to you. Okay, here we are, Weaver's Bend. This is the first part of the trail out of here. So I just drop down slowly, drop again. Climb up, climb over. Soon I should get an Eden Grove notification. There it is. As I said, I'm heading straight up into Eden Grove with this. There was one reason why I didn't want to be down. That's because there's a ton of wolves and I have no intention of fighting the wolves. They are absolutely irritating. Alright, so now I am in Eden Grove. It's just a little bit of a route to the top. I could cut across that field, but then I'll be chased by a dozen or more wolves. As you can hear, they're already barking up my back. Now all I know is that I see the gate for entering the Angry Earth, and I'll directly cut across to this point to move into the mines. Now a lot of people will be like, yeah, but the mines aren't the best place and there's better farms up in Shattered Mountain. There are better farms, that is quite true, but the number of people who know about the better farms and run the better farms because of their higher amounts of orichalcium are much higher. So you can compete with 50 people for 1,000 orichalcium, and who knows, you might get 5 or 10 out of that entire 1,000, right? Or you can come here for 500 orichalcium, where there's not gonna, okay, not even 500, maybe about 180 if you're lucky. 180 where there's gonna be about 4 or 5 people who run this route, and if you're lucky, you can plot the entire route on your own, because it's just 4 or 5 people who rotate through this area. It isn't the best area to be in because the amount of people who go through aren't high enough, and you can tell where the people have been through by seeing the other spawns of materials that are all over the place. And you can obviously skip enemies if you really want to, like I'm gonna skip all 3 of these miners. There's nothing in that little cavern. I'm just going to put an entire load towards me, and then I'm just going to finish them off quick and easy with my spear. Out of that little corner. Okay, let's have a look. And the orichalcium inside here is down. At least one node is down. So not something too stressful. And that's about it for the autocalcium inside this particular cave. There is normally a large node that spawns on the side. It looks like it's down. That means I'm in the right period. I'm going to get a lot of the small nodes back. Maybe I'll just explore this cave a little bit before I return. That will be some nice offering of gold. And the respawn didn't come in time, so I will continue on. The last thing I want is to fight 5 or 6 of these guys at once. So quick and easy, one-shot kills. As I said, quick and easy. That's the way you do this. I need to get rid of this guy. That was quick and easy. Now, how does this look? Is it up? Is it down? One side is definitely down, the other side is also down. I'm not gonna fight them if that's the case. It's not worth it without the autocalcium. So as you saw, those were 4 of the nodes from that entire search. Here comes the 5th and 6th, they're right next to each other. And this one is down as well. Down as well, unfortunately. This is one of the places you can pick up snails and snail slime. Fortunately, that one was down as well. So there's 6 of the nodes that are done. I'm gonna head to the 7th and then I'll head in towards the 8th. This one. You're kidding me. I don't want to actually cross them and head in that way. There's a lot of these salamander snails in this area. Nope, I don't want to fight you all. I'm just gonna head straight into the cave. Cross everybody. I don't care about fighting in this one. Yeah, this one is just so crazy. It's just going to be too heavy to try and farm some extra XP. 1 or 200 from 1 or 2 shots. It's not worth it for the amount of damage I'll take and the amount of potions I'll need just to recover. Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, totally gone. So in that case, I'll just ignore all of these guys, jump over the top, and get out of here. So this is one of the best farms. As I was saying, I managed to get a rock out of it, right? So I did get some orichalcum, maybe not enough to do anything with it, but after this year I can head up and try and get some ironwood. Obviously right now, considering how bad it has been, I'm actually gonna turn back this way. Going through the other route and farming 1 or 2 weirdwood trees isn't going to be worth it. It's not getting me any type of profit. So I'm just going to head straight this way and out. I actually don't like fighting angry earth. They're really annoying to have to fight in combat. That's why I'm using this route over the other route. And this is what you do to these players. Report. And that's all you do. You have to report those guys because that's how they're getting rid of bots. If you don't report, they can't catch them. You find them, you hit H on their names, and you report it immediately when you find them. They're hidden like this here in every single location. Myself and one of my friends from the company, we've come through here, PvP flag, and kill the bots. They're doing it for the yield advantage, the 30% yield advantage. It's making the bots more susceptible to take the damage. And as you can see, they pick up just about every node in the location. He isn't moving around. It says that he knows the spawn timers, and it also says that there's no use in even trying to. This is also his recall point, so that you don't get rid of the farmer. And they must probably not far away from their PCs either. They aren't farming in the traditional sense. They bot farming more than likely. But yeah, that's how they do it. One camp, it's not expensive. It isn't a time-consuming thing to set up the camp, and you just sit there and you redo that entire location several times over. Now, as I said, this is the profit section of the area. You just pick up all the ironwood, and let's see where I am. So now I'm going to head all the way across and over. I don't know why my map isn't showing me the items it's supposed to. That is very, very odd. I don't see the animals flag. Yeah, it's not showing. I do have a good idea on where all the ironwood is, right? So that's how come I can pick it up. As I said, this is a once an hour rotate. If you're going around the map like this, this is how you farm. Obviously you can't do this here all day, all night. You can't do this here in the heavy patterns or heavy repeats. And also by not PvP flagging, I also reduce the chances of rare spawns for myself, so I lose out in terms of value of this operation. I actually have to return this way, so I'm just going to set my... Yeah, this is not showing the ironwood trees. I have to manually search through all of this forest, which sounds amazing. There should be one or two on this path. In terms of value, ironwood trees are quite good value, plus their respawn timers aren't absurd like many of the other respawns, which is why so many people will farm. As you can see, this is a nice location for some resources. As you can see, there's 3 resources in a close range. Blight. It's the one thing that I don't always carry a resistance potion for on me. This is really infuriating because the map isn't kicking in. It's not telling me where the creatures and the resources are. It makes it unbelievably difficult to navigate. Yeah, this one is down. I expected it to be down. Oh no, it's not. I could have pinned them down, to be honest, because I had the traps, but I didn't want to go through all that hassle. There is an individual who's farming just like me. You run through the area, you pull off the heavy farm, and you keep running through. That's the way that you do this. Okay, now since this whole region has basically been a big fail, this is going to be where I'm heading towards. This is the traditional route. Normally I count on the flagging from my map to show me where everything is, but right now it's not going to show me a single thing. I have some ancients to take care of as I head up this way. They're not that hard to kill, so I'm not really worried about that too much. The dryads aren't a real problem. They're going to try and shoot me once in a while. So yeah, as you can see, if you really wanted Ironhide, this is the place to go. 5 or 6 tigers and you've got 250, maybe even a couple hundred. You can make all your smolder hide, all your scar hide just out of this particular farm. You can also make all of your infused leather with majority from here. Then if you're looking for thick hide, you're gonna jump down to Restless Shore, one of the best locations. Let's see, is this ironwood tree alive? No, it's not. There's an ironwood tree that's normally along the ledge somewhere. No, it's not an ironwood tree. The fact that we can't do this to enemies but enemies can do it to us is just so unfair. And they reset when they get away from you, so yeah, the devs really balanced this game so that players can't use skill or strategy. They just have to use glitches and whatever they can get their hands on to balance out the strategies from the game. Yeah, so well done devs, you basically made a game that encourages cheating. One of the other things that I really like eating on the devs. And honestly, if anybody doesn't believe me, think of it this way. If this game was reasonable and you could fight with ranged weapons from a range, and ranged weapons weren't as efficient as short range weapons, they weren't efficient, they weren't capable to kill tanks, people would still use the ranged weapons for their purpose. But they had to overbalance the weapons so that they were usable in a PvP scenario. They messed up their own balances in the game. The weapons are all over the place, they're not efficient, they're not sturdy. And now I have to look for the ironwood in this area. This is another crazy spot. Here comes my smolder hide. As I said, this is one of the richest areas for a run. Once I come to the bottom at the edge of this location over here, I'm instantly going to teleport out. That's the... oh, finally it started to show the trees, and it only showed the one that I was chopping. As you can see, just quick and easy kills, nothing all that heavy. I believe this is about it. After this here, when I head towards the end point, there might be one more tree. I'm not 100% sure on it, but that's just about it. This is one of the richest spawns of ironwood in the entire game. If you do go through it and you are at a lucky enough time, or if you've planned it out correctly, you just have an insane amount of resources being pulled. Now today I'm going to do something that I don't regularly do. That is, I'm going to port to one base and use it as a stash format. There's it, the last tree. And with this, I have a fantastic haul of ironwood once again. Now obviously this can be even richer if you place yourself correctly. If you run through the right spawns of ironwood in other locations, you can pull out 800 per go. There were several that were down, unfortunately. That really impacts the amount that I'm going to have at the end of the day. And I have a lot of resources on me, so teleporting right now is quite expensive. And I did say that there was a good route to use, so I'm going to go through through Morningdale into the second route and pull out the second lot of farming for this region. Now the second lot of farming isn't as fun as this particular region, and let me just jump out here. Yeah, that's a lot. Okay, so I'll just show you quickly on the map. The second lot of farming has an orichalcium vein, and that's just about it. Oh man. It has an orichalcium vein. It has 3 of them. If you are lucky, you pull off all 3. It's one of the most remote locations. Camping it is not advised because it's not the easiest location to keep yourself in. Going up there all the time, you know what, it's a pain. It's outside of the regular routes. From what I'm going to do, I'm going to climb up from the second side of Hidey Hole, and then I'm going to jump into Eden Grove from that section. Then I'm going to crawl into the location that I want to go to, and hopefully I'm going to get all the resources. If I don't get the resources, then it's basically a big no on my side and a massive failure. If I do get my resources, then I can start building up a little bit more. Alright, here's it. So this is where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go hidey hole. I'm gonna climb all the way up. I'm gonna come all the way to this location, and then I will jump down. Now if I can avoid jumping all the way on that side, I'll jump down here, cut across. No, this section here doesn't allow you to cut across, so I'd have to jump down at the top. I have to go from here across the base, down, up onto this mountain, and the only way up is on this section. So it's a long route around. And yeah, now it's time for me to exit this, put what needs to be put away, and sell what needs to be sold. I'm not going to take you along for that second long trip. It's already been quite a long trip, and then there's the Brightwood route and the Windswood route. The Windswood route is someplace that I camped out for so long. Yeah, I know, I camped it out. Makes it sound really bad, and it is pretty bad, to be honest. So yeah, that's the reality behind it. I'll just list it for 3 days. Place I hate when that happens. You just have to log in and log out of your station. Go all the way down. As you can see, I have 150 glistening ebony. That all will have to be moved at a later stage. Not bad. I'll just get rid of this instantly. A little bit of gold doesn't hurt. I really undersold that, right? So that's just me being honest about it. Let's see, what is overbearing my weight right now? Something in here has to be crazy heavy to be pulling me down this far. Food isn't, metal isn't too bad. I can get rid of the stones. Something else that needs to go. I am really hurting myself overall with my load in my bag. That's what's killing me most of the way on these teleports. I keep my storage all separate. Certain items go in certain places, other items go in other places. Actually, don't really care about that at this point. Divide by 8, that's 3 orichalcium. It's not enough to make a big difference. As you can tell, that's how come I'm still searching. I need enough to make 20 or 30 of them. And let's go. Now I am heading towards another farm up on the top in Foals Fruit, where you saw there was a mission standing for me. The problem is getting a hold of that orichalcium is just as hard as any other location. There's also some ironwood on this path, so if I can get a hold of the ironwood, I win a little bit more. If I can get a hold of the orichalcium on the other side in Eden Grove, I win as well. So let's see how that goes, and that's just going to be about it for this farming video, showing you some of the routes that I use. There are more routes than this. There are better routes. There are locations that are far more efficient for farming. Example, if you go from Brightwood, you go to location 1, you cut back up to the Weirdwood, you cut across the river to the Weirdwood again, you cut across all of that to this location, and you take care of the Ironwood. You come down all the way for Ironwood yet again, then you cut all the way to the Alchemist Shrine, you cut directly across to the edge here, that's Weirdwood. If you go through the Bronze Grove itself, there's Weirdwoods, that's another Ironwood. You come up to the edge here, one more Ironwood tree. Silkweed all the way along this path. As you head to the base, there should be silkweed here again before you cross over. Once you cross over, there's silkweed at this location, then there's silkweed at this location up here before you enter the base, and you're back at the base where you can sell it. It's that easy to run this route. Now there is a spawn of weird wood up here on the top near this cave, Orphan's Cave. So there's a whole lot of ironwood, there's gold veins, there's a ton of resources. Wilbro, somewhere along the line here, along the river, there's a waterfall. On the waterfall there are tons of lodestone. That's one of the other things you can farm. This is a good location for it. That's just about it. Then Great Cleave is another story all on its own. The top of Eden Grove from where I'm going, if I really want to make this here a farming run, I can hit this, then jump off this direction, head up the mountain till I reach the location up here. Then there's several ironwood trees over here, and then I can return to a base. But that's just if I really am going to push it and try my luck. So yeah, that's... oh wait, no, I'm putting it in the wrong place. So that's about it. See you all in the next one, and have a good